So trained or classroom trained?
That's a very good question. The most important thing for organizations is the implementation.
Why someone should invest in client training when Salesforce is very user friendly?
Not because I'm delivering.
But it is, you need that touch.
Yes.
You know? Hello. Today's topic is training and we are going to focus on Salesforce training. So our guest today says that forget about the shortcuts, we have got something better. So our guest today with 18 plus years of experience into Salesforce training and consulting, will be guiding us with her journey, and she has been working very closely with her clients to maximize their Salesforce journey. So it's time for some tech talk with me, Charmy, where you will listen to the stories that matter. So join me to welcome Sheetal. Hi Sheetal.
Hi Charmy, thank you for having me here today.
Yes, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing well, thank you.
Awesome. So how was your journey to here to studio?
Tiring, I'll say. A lot of traffic, Friday. A lot of
Yes.
people want to just go and party.
Okay. So, just I want to start, if you can give your quick intro. You have been into, almost 18 years into the ecosystem with Salesforce. You have so many certifications. So, please tell us about your story.
Hi guys, I'm Sheetal. Thank you for having me here, Charmy. And that's a topic that's very close to my heart actually. I have been passionate about training for a pretty long time. I started my career in 2007 when there was S controls.
Okay.
So I have been through S controls to Visual Force to Apex, now into LWR and AI. So overall, I have been working as a technical architect, a trainer plus tester. Every role you can just think of, I have been through. My last role was mostly focused on learning and development space, and then delivering the client technical architecture. And overall, my journey so far has been great. And it gave me an opportunities to focus on both the trainings as well as the consulting experience.
Awesome. So, generally, as you mentioned, that you are very much focused towards training, right? And training needs are very different for individual. The expectations very different for professional and too much different for client. So, what you would like to say about that?
So, there are a lot of challenges when you actually focus on training. People think the training is just about creating the content, and once the content is delivered, you can just start delivering on the fly. But it's not that easy, because every time you have, the first thing that you need to take care of is the audience. So sometimes you have the beginners, sometimes you have intermediate level, sometimes you have architects who want to go back and learn about the admin parts as well. Because now there are a lot of things which are ever changing in the ecosystem, and it's very difficult to focus on a lot of things.
Right.
The second thing is when you are tailoring your requirements for the corporate clients. Because individuals, they can give the time, but for corporates, their people are focused on the project deliveries. So they have the time constraint. So I need to structure my course according to the requirements, where I can accommodate their times, durations, and at the time make sure we are not missing on anything critical.
Right.
So that's another challenge. So level is one thing, time constraint is second. The third thing is, most of the times when you have a turnaround times. So training most of the time is an optional.
Okay.
So we have trailheads, YouTube's, podcasts, and most of the times people think it's very easy. But everyone has a different audio visual responses. So for some, reading is the most appropriate way to learn things. For some, when somebody teaches me, I just imagine okay, that's very easy for me. But for some, it's an audio and visual. So it's both I need to combine. For some, it's all about hands-on. I don't need a theory.
You come and give me in person.
Right. And most challenging thing, I'll just tell you what happens with me is when somebody approaches me to learn development.
Oh, okay.
And the course that I have structured, it does include the admin part as well. So I consider you don't know anything, and then I start according to. But they are okay, no, I don't directly want to jump into Apex only. But they forget, unless you build the fields, nobody's going to build the Apex on it. So the mindset shift.
Hmm.
Every time you need to keep on learning and changing
Right.
things, and organizations nowadays are facing challenges where they need to adapt to the new technologies. So they have
Correct.
to make a mindset shift where the training needs to be a part of their ecosystem, not something like at the induction, once the training is done, I am done.
Right. So, what type of audience you have in the when you are training them in client side?
So on the client side, I have faced both. The first, where you have the beginners, inductions.
Okay.
So where they are just the college pass outs and they don't know anything about it.
Okay.
So for them, you need to focus on the very basics.
Mm-hmm.
While they are very curious. So the time management, there are too many questions. So I need to make sure I'm able to finish my content in the timings.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe at that time I have to make sure I put the questions at the end.
Correct.
But when you are delivering the same trainings to the experienced professionals, so people who are already 2 to 4 years experience,
Correct.
or maybe up to 7 or 8 years experience as well, they have a different mindset. So I am delivering online. I need to make sure they are alert and they are paying attention because they are multitasking.
Correct. Then turn on the video and then do something.
Exactly. So that's another thing that I need to make sure. The third people that I have come across is where you have corporates.
Okay.
So somebody who's actually upskilling from admin to development.
Okay.
So those batches are actually combination. So they are not focused on only the induction people or beginners. So at that time, I need to make sure my pace is sufficient enough to be able to understood by the beginners as well as somebody who has been already in the ecosystem.
Okay.
So you need to keep on tailoring the audience levels and the requirements and the pace and the delivery content.
Correct. But out of my curiosity, like the usual workshop trainings that we give to our clients, like if they are new to Salesforce, they have just to read all the implementation. Definitely, whoever would be the partner, they must be giving some training, but still they are struggling. Okay, then those trainings are also you can help with those.
Yes. So I do help them structure as well.
Okay.
So it's not only about delivering the training, structuring the training is also equally important because sometimes you need to focus more on the fundamentals. Sometimes you need to focus more on the architectural concepts, or sometimes you need to have a balance between both of them. So it becomes really challenging. So most of the times I do have the defined structure, but as far as I have done, all my proposals are tailored. None of them are like the same ones.
Amazing. I mean, like from last year, I guess we have so many, updates in Salesforce once Agent Force is introduced. So, I want to know about the biggest challenge that you are facing now after Agent Force in the market. Like, what are the curious questions people are asking?
That's a very great question actually. I think it started around 2024 itself when I started to see the trend, and the trend is shifting more from the generalized trainings to the industry trainings.
Okay.
So people want to see the agent force everywhere. But they don't understand agent force is part of your ecosystem. It's not the entire platform. So I can include, for example, if I'm delivering a sales cloud training, I can enable you to understand how agent force can help you automate from the salesperson. But not every training need to include agent force.
Right.
Because not everyone at that pace will be able to understand and build those kind of prompts.
Agent force need data.
Exactly.
If the company is having that data, that amount of huge data, that smart data, complex data, then agent force is the best for that.
Right. And on top of that, agent force needs the prompt builder. The prompt builder is another language in itself. It's not like simple where I just type it in ChatGPT and I'll be able to get the answers. So that is also a kind of a specific skill set that you need to build first. Then you can start shifting your people from your admin and development into the agent force as well. Otherwise, what happens is even after you attend the Salesforce, agent force, hands-on trainings and everything, you will be able to do everything. You will be able to build the prompts following that workshop. But once you come back, and if somebody gives you and asks you about a use case, you feel like I'm blank.
Right.
And that's biggest challenge because initially when I started, as I mentioned, I started with the S controls. So I was very happy I don't need to learn any other language. I just need to learn Apex, Visual Force, HTML, JavaScript and I'm done. But now if you see, it's similar to your full stack development. So you need to understand Angular.js. Otherwise, you'll not be able to build LWC and even the smallest Visual Force pages as well.
Like for every functionality, we need to learn something now.
Exactly. So the courses, the content that we are curating now, it is becoming so big. It's like my admin course itself is scaling up to 1.5 months.
Yeah.
Because I keep on just iterating it and I feel like, oh, this is a new thing. If I don't include, then they'll just fall behind.
Right.
And over the period of time, you feel like it's gonna be a long course and people will start losing their interest then. So I need to then just short. So one which is for beginners, then the other one which will be fast track. So you need to now tailor your content according to what your business context is.
Right.
You no longer have the defined content for the trainers as well.
Right.
And every day I myself needs to spend 5 to 6 hours understanding in each release what is new introduced.
Oh yes.
Because my content will not be aligned with that, and then it will be.
It's there's so many releases.
Exactly.
Like every month something new.
Yeah, and it becomes really difficult for them as well
Correct.
to understand because here I am learning about admin, and the organization suddenly asks them to now start learning about health club. So
Correct.
every time you come up with the requirements, I'm now getting more and more requirements on the industrial clouds.
Okay.
So like B2B commerce, B2C commerce, health cloud.
Yeah. For the training.
Training
part, right?
yes, because these are the specialized domain specific trainings. And now organizations understood generalized training are not gonna fit for them.
Correct.
Because unlike other initial setups, I'm not focused only on equipping them with the Apex. If they want to do the agent force and they want to understand my client, they'll not be able to relate to the business domain.
Right.
And that's why we now need to fix and shift on to the industry domains now.
Correct. And having said that, because there are so many updates, agree to there are so many releases, but I want to tell to our audience that whoever is beginner or like starting their journey with Salesforce, this is a very good platform that every month you get something to upskill yourself.
Right.
You won't be you won't be restricted to one thing.
Right.
So, and Salesforce is providing a platform to involve the AI in your resume now that you can proudly say that you are AI.
Right.
At least
exactly.
you have experienced it using Trailhead, doing some workshops by Salesforce organized workshops. There were so many workshops.
Exactly.
On that. So if you have not, please go ahead and just experience your first step in AI with Trailhead, and you should go there. Coming to our topic, I just want to ask one thing. Like, there are so many myths going on about data cloud and agent force. Have you come across anything like very silly question, like I want to do this, or is this platform does that, or something like that?
Yeah. So most of the times, the kind of the myths that you're talking about, right? The foremost myth is it's all point and click.
Okay.
So I can learn on my own. But
Hmm.
if you look at the data cloud or the any industry specific clouds, even though you have some background in Salesforce,
Correct.
you need someone to tell you how to start and where to end.
Correct.
Because otherwise, the journeys that Salesforce has mapped out for you, you'll not be able to follow them. So the workshops they have, they are curated according to what the business requirements they are getting very often from their clients. And that's why, as you correctly mentioned, so even if you feel like trailheads, I usually get lost in my trailheads because I start on sometimes learning about admin and I just start preparing data cloud. So it happens because there are so many things, so many links, you keep clicking, you land up somewhere else.
Actually, it's sometimes overwhelming, especially for beginners and who don't know Salesforce. So
And that's where trainers and trainees are never going to be out of the market because even though AI can help you, it's not going to 100% replace the trainers.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
Our system is built in a way where we still need sometimes someone to teach me how to do that. And another aspect of that is the hands-on experience. So for example, the most efficient and the most remarkable feedback that I have received from my trainees is they are able to go back and work on the projects once they are from or out from my trainings. And one of the key aspect of that is since I have been 17 years hands-on experience with all kinds of stuff, I know the caveats that may occur.
Okay.
A simple field that you mark the required.
Mm-hmm.
But then you need to focus on where you need to mark the field required. A simple change can break everything.
Right.
So instead of easing it up, it can just break up every application you have in the system.
Right.
So I focus on how, when, and why.
Okay.
So my trainings, you will feel like the PDFs or the decks are just the references.
Right.
You need to rely on the recordings because it comes with the experience that you know if you do this is gonna break.
Correct.
And
Right.
one of the myth is like you can just go through the trailheads, you just do the innovator and you will be pro into it. Or even if I do the certifications,
Not at all.
I'm just gonna be pro. That's not at all true.
Correct. That's the
And-
first step, I guess, right?
Right. And training as for organizations, for an individual also is not a one-time thing. So if you are really focused, you need to keep on at least spend or block 1 hour daily on your calendar
Right.
throughout your career. Doesn't matter if you already have 20 or 30 years
And
experience.
even same goes with clients also.
Yes.
Clients cannot do implementation using ChatGPT. It's like, no, then there's no point, right? I always say, it's my mantra, that use AI to inspire yourself.
Correct.
Use AI to increase your productivity. AI will help you to where to start training.
Exactly. So
So-
use it as a guidance.
Correct.
Where to start, what I should do next, or
Correct.
what should be the structure of my learning.
Correct.
But don't use it as a replacement of
Right.
your actual hands-on or
Right.
anything. So
Right.
even though I can use the Visual Studio to generate a test class, in order to fix the issues once it is generated,
Yes.
you need to understand the test classes.
Mm-hmm.
And for that, you need to have the learning and the hands-on experience.
Correct.
So you cannot simply say like, okay, AI will replace everything. That
Hmm.
was a very big myth when AI introduced. Remember, like
yes,
it
yes,
was a
yes.
hype, like
I
they're gonna
know.
lose the job.
Yes, yes, yes. No, that's,
That's
not,
not
at all.
true.
Even any department, you can. AI is not here to replace. I guess whoever has created or how came AI, however is introduced.
Who's gonna build the AI?
Yeah,
If
we
there
are
is no manpower.
So now you upskill yourself so that you
Yes.
can build the next agent.
Correct.
So you can, rule that AI world. Now, we talk about updates, right? Like so many updates,
Yeah.
so many challenge. Biggest challenge you faced while training to your clients.
Now I need to, as I mentioned, I need to tailor my every training according to the business. Because now what is happening is they are more onto the business context.
Okay.
So the type of, so for example, take any corporate company or any client they are working with. They have the defined industry domains that they very closely work with, where they have the major giants working with them. So now they want to focus and learn and train their people onto the projects and the domain that they are very closely working on.
Right.
So now they give the content, what they are looking for, and I need to design the course according to what they are providing. Previously, what it was, okay, tell me, I just need an admin training. I already have the structure defined, the ask and everything, just share it, that's it, I'm done with it.
Right.
But that is no longer the case because every client has the tailored business context. So I need to include that industry domain knowledge as well into that.
Correct.
So it's becoming more and more challenging along with the trial orgs.
Right. Trial all, yes. So many, even, I have also having my one, small sprouts community where all the beginners are there. So, there are so many trial orgs also, right?
Yeah.
At every module you get, means let's say, something you can do in one trial, then further thing you need to launch
Switch to another.
Switch to another. So that's also confusing. यार मैंने अभी तो पहले बनाया था अभी वापस क्यों?
हाँ.
And वो कहाँ गया जो बनाया था?
To be specific, the major challenge I'm facing right now is all the orgs are data cloud and agent force.
Correct.
And I really loved the original developer org because for
Correct.
trainings, that is the best one.
Correct.
Again, I mean, like the new one that we have, right? जो भी है, agent force and data cloud one.
Correct.
The UI and everything that is shifted, and it becomes really challenging for me to explain to them because they see, okay, I have a different, but in my org, in the client org, it's completely different user interface. So
Correct.
they just get confused with that new UI. So I don't
Right.
have that trial, and now they have stopped giving the older ones.
Right.
So if I have any older one, I just train on them.
Right.
Otherwise, I have to tell them, okay, this is not the one that you will see in your live environment.
Correct.
That's gonna be different. Or I'll have to explain the IDOs or SDOs.
Even I have some of my clients also, they're still using classic.
Yes.
So recently only we helped them, they are in manufacturing. So we have recently helped them into at least first migrate yourself to the new one. Then we'll talk about what you want to do.
And then that's really a good point that you have raised, because another challenge that I'm facing in trainings, right? If you remember, in older classic version, Salesforce Analytics used to provide the inbuilt reports.
Okay.
Sales, service, and they are very good reports.
Standard
reports and dashboards. So I don't have to start from the scratch. Now what happens is I need to train them on the classic, then I need to shift them on the lightning, then I have to tell them you need to go to classic, save that report in lightning folder, open that in lightning, edit it, and then move forward.
Correct.
And over the period of time, even for the clients, it becomes really challenging because for the developers and others it is okay, but for their end users, sometimes I also get the requirements to get the training document for the end users. So they need my help on curate that end user training documents. And for that also we need to capture the screenshots and record. So if I keep switching between classic and lightning, and now you have switched off that classic flag, it becomes a trouble for me.
Correct.
Then divide it into like, okay, why we need to go into classic then?
Correct.
And then there are a lot of questions and so many things. Even a lot of features I can see there are still in only classic. I don't know why they have not migrated, but maybe they will do it in the later phase. But then in order to explain, switch back to classic, come back to lightning.
Okay.
So it's like a to and fro kind of a journey.
Maybe for bigger organizations who are using classic, they might not be able to still shift themselves.
Correct.
Yeah.
So for example, in that case, I have to make sure, even with the apps, right? The older classic apps, they open in lightning.
Okay.
But there are some limitations onto it. And if you directly have built it in classic, then it will not open in lightning.
Okay.
So there are two different scenarios under which you may or may not be able to access your classic apps in lightning. So I need to add another section saying that migrating your classic apps to lightning apps. So that changes the way the entire pace is going into. So similar to what we have done into the workflows and process builders. I really want to move them. I don't want to include them in my training, but if I don't include and they have a requirement where they have to migrate, they'll not be able to understand what the workflow and process builder used to work according to. So I have to keep that in my course.
Correct. Yeah, we need to. Means it depends. That's why you are saying, right? That it depends on client to client who is there.
And most important thing is now, if you remember, now they are going to stop. They are not allowing new to be created.
Yeah.
The classic
yes,
workflow process builders.
Yes.
So they're stopping it.
Correct.
Once that is there, it will be very difficult for trainers to explain how they were built. Unless I have a client org where there is already a created one.
Right.
So I'll have to preserve my org where I have to build all workflows and process builders.
It's more complex to shift,
Exactly.
Some automation, some workflows, it's very difficult and you need to recreate only.
Another myth. Everyone comes to me, before I even start training or start giving them a proposal, my first question to them is always, why do you want to learn Salesforce? Because they hear from somewhere, so you are getting a lot of salaries in Salesforce. That's why I want to learn. Good, not a bad thing,
one reason.
but it cannot be the driving factor for your profession choosing, right? So they need to understand what exactly is Salesforce. So I give them first an intro video, or I just let them go through the trailhead, understand what the Salesforce is.
Right.
And till now, I'm still using the old. If you remember, there was a cloud computing video, that falling of the stacks and everything, where they explained it. It's one of the most beautiful video I have encountered in Salesforce. I still use that everywhere in my trainings, but it's a very simple, but it explains you why exactly you should be switching to the SaaS.
Okay.
So these kind of stuff, they were very effective. But now they keep asking me, okay, when will you start development?
Right there.
I mean, let's first focus on admin, then we'll get to the development. And they were okay, I want to learn integration now. So basically, they are also in a dilemma where they don't know where or what I should learn. So the only thing I would like to suggest everyone is, Even though now you need to have the T as a skill set. You cannot be an expert in one now.
Right.
So you need to broaden and then you need to have a subject matter expertise in one of the domains. But at the same time, make sure you have at least a base understanding of, or at least know by the name the products that Salesforce is launching. But don't get confused. Ultimately, you might have also observed when you are actually on the projects, for 10 years, if you don't get any project which includes an integration, you may not be even familiar with the integration.
Right.
So, but that doesn't mean you are not capable enough. So don't stop yourself or compare with someone who's already 2 years and getting an integration experience. The kind of projects you get may sometimes drive the path that you may follow. The kind of skills you may need to acquire. So somebody might need to switch into project management. Somebody might need to have a deep dive into technical architecture. Or somebody might only choose to have a BA. So all these are equally important. Don't only focus on developer or being a developer.
No, amazing. Amazing insights and amazing stories, amazing experience. Now, it's time for one of our my favorite segment, that is quick bites. And then it will be like a rapid fire round. So you should be very quick. And I'll ask some questions. Okay, so training or classroom trainings?
Classroom trainings. Not because I'm delivering.
But it is, you need that touch.
Yes.
You need that someone, okay, you'll get it.
You will.
Don't worry.
Yes.
Something like that, And the hardest Salesforce module to teach?
That's a very tricky question. In the rapid fire, I'll say page layout.
Okay.
I'll tell you the letter.
That's very tricky actually, page layouts. It's you'll assume okay, it will be done, but when you start creating, okay, I should keep here or here or here.
Yeah, and I'll tell you just in quick way why I find it difficult, because when you start teaching page layout, you need to make sure you teach the business.
Correct.
You need to teach the record types. Because if you don't have business process, you'll not be able to create a record type.
Right.
If you don't have record type, you'll not be able to assign the page layout. In page layout, you have classic, you have lightning, and even in lightning, there is a one which is based on classic, and third one is a dynamic, which is again lightning app builder. So I need to teach all 3 page layouts. And then they ask me, why do we have so many page layouts? And sometimes I feel like, okay, that's a good question. I need to ask Salesforce as well. But still, we are not completely migrated to the app builder. So stick to all 3 of them.
So I think we have already took this question, but still, biggest myth about Salesforce training?
I don't need a training.
No, correct. One feature everyone loves instantly.
In Salesforce or?
In Salesforce.
For me, it's the creation of objects and fields.
Okay.
It's very easy, point and click compared to explaining and everything in depth as well. So Java or any other I've seen. So I feel like it's very easy for me.
Okay, awesome. And live workshops or self-paced?
Live workshops.
Oh,
I like talking.
Very interactive workshops.
Yes.
Amazing. So we have some questions, okay, from audiences.
Okay.
And so we have collected and picked a few questions that are very important to understand. That is why someone should invest in client training when Salesforce is very user-friendly.
Okay, that's a very good question. A most important thing for organizations is the implementation. So the trainings that we provide, right? Be it on the individual level or be it the corporate training. The intent is to place them onto the project so they can start delivering for the clients. Not having properly structured trainings increases the implementation cost, because the impact analysis, the repercussions, or the discovery questions that they should be asking before they start implementation, those can only be with the hands-on. When you have the trainer explaining you the caveats, if you don't do it like this, what will happen? And that's why I think it's more important, and that's ultimately related to any organization's return on investment as well. Implementation cost is reduced because your developers and admins are already equipped with the 60-70% knowledge. The 30% they'll keep on accumulating over the next 10 years. But definitely your repeat cost, fixing issues, defects, if you see, there are most of the times 80% issues are very minor.
What?
20%
Yes,
are where you
yes.
have the bigger and you are not able to figure
Complex
them out.
one,
Complex
yeah.
ones.
Right. I think we talked about this topic, but if you can elaborate more, that will AI replace the trainers?
From my perspective, definitely not. That's not gonna happen because, as we discussed, even though AI, I'll say it's a productivity tool. It's not a replacement tool.
Correct.
So otherwise, I'll have to go back and be like an Arnold.
Yeah. AI helps you to get yourself structured.
Correct. So it will help you up to 50-60%, but that 40% is what is driving your 60%.
Correct.
So it's gonna be reversed rather than 60% driving 40%.
Yeah, right. So how do you measure the ROI of a training? Like,
So there are a couple of things. So sometimes clients have their own ROIs. So we have the assessments. So based on the assessments, we try to analyze what they have learned. So the assessment that you need to curate can also differ. So for example, if I have a business analyst,
okay,
I need to have a case study and ask him to prepare all the artifacts from scratch. And then we will judge the intent, not the quality of that document.
Okay.
Another aspect is if you have developers, throw them the code with issues. See how they are able to identify and debug it, because anyone can write a code. Debugging is the most challenging part.
Correct.
Identifying the root cause and then applying the fix.
Right.
And the third thing that we try to do is sometimes we have the MCQs. Because that is also one of the aspects where they need to have a theoretical part as well. I cannot completely keep on the hands-on. They need to, some of the concepts you need to have the contextual. And that is theory, that I cannot just convert it into a hands-on. So in those cases, we have the MCQs as well. So combination of all these three will tell you whether my successful training was delivered or the training was like something I need to restructure or curate, because then we'll get the feedback.
Correct. So thank you so much for answering the questions. So before we wrap up, like what keeps you motivating and continue the training?
That's just one thing. When I give training, I feel like my mind is empty now.
Yes.
And there is a now need to refill it.
You love sharing, right?
Yes, and I'm very talkative. You know me from the community website. So I love to talk, and the most important, I think initially when I started training, that was one of the biggest struggle for me, to control how I can talk less, rather than I have so much to share, I keep on sharing. It's a good thing, but when you have a time-defined trainings, it becomes really a challenge. But that is one of the things when you get the feedback, like, okay, that most important line I have heard is, after the training, whatever you have taught, I got exact thing in my project and I was able to implement it without any issue. And that keeps me motivated, because that tells me whatever I am teaching is not just theory, they're able to apply it on the actual projects. Because ultimate goal of your trainings should be, after my training, you should not be again requiring any other training. Right. That's important.
This is very amazing, and I have something for you. Like thanking you for joining us. I'll just put this little mic on side, and thank you so much, Sheetal, for coming, for joining us, for sharing amazing stories with us. And hello everyone. I hope you like the stories. I hope you like the information. On anything last you would like to mention?
I just want to say, keep learning, keep training yourself, keep dedicating your at least 2 hours on your learning. Salesforce is not an just system or an application. It's a live environment. So it keeps on changing. So you need to keep on upskilling yourself. And definitely, thank you for having me here. It was really a pleasure talking to you. And I hope it was helpful for everyone who's listening to the podcast about the trainings. And if there are any questions, definitely Charmy is still here. You can just let me know.
No, definitely. And I'll be sharing your LinkedIn also with everyone, audience. So you can do, if there is anything related to training, she's the expert. You can reach out to her. And thank you so much. Stay tuned for listening to such amazing stories that matters. And see you soon again. Thanks everyone. Bye-bye.